Tim Pool, the big-time YouTuber who has just been revealed to be a Russian agent, was paid millions of dollars to spew Russian propaganda all over the internet and YouTube, has now come out with a tweet saying that he's reflected on his actions, which, first off, Tim, how dare you use that word, but he's reflected on his actions, and now he is pro-Ukraine, and he's anti-Russia, and he thinks that Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe, and that they need $200 billion right away to fight the Russian fascists. And his audience are getting a good laugh out of this. He's just being facetious. To me, that is remarkable. If Tim Pool, who is facing the consequences of being a Russian agent, is now trying to laugh this one off, if he thinks that that is a good strategy to use against the FBI and the Department of Justice, oh, Tim, oh, you've got another thing coming if you think comedy is your way out of spreading Russian propaganda. On the other hand, if he is serious, it means that he is so desperate to avoid the consequences of his actions. He sent out another tweet in which he just played the victim card. He had no idea that he was being given marching orders by the Kremlin. How could I have known? They were just paying me millions of dollars. I was using a website that was clearly Russian propaganda. Oh, how was I supposed to know this? Despite millions of people watching Tim Pool and constantly calling him out as a Russian propagandist, none of those things raised alarms for Tim and Tenet Media. No. They're just the victims in all of this. Now, neither of these things are good for Tim Pool, because if he's laughing about being a Russian agent, it just means that he is the asshole that we all know him to be. And if he truly is claiming this reformist attitude, well, it's just totally insincere. He doesn't really believe that Ukraine is an ally. He's doing this so that he can try to avoid the consequences, or so that he can try to lessen how harsh the consequences of his actions are. I mean, just listen to Tim Pool talk about Ukraine before it was revealed that he was a Russian agent.
This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
So Tim Pool here, whether or not he's joking about this, he has a lot of internal conflict that he needs to resolve. And the consequences are going to burden him for not only the short term, but until that guy is buried 6 feet under. This will always follow him around. And whatever the legal consequences are of this, just being a content creator here on YouTube and having a checkered past with monetization on YouTube, Tim Pool's videos appear to be demonetized right now, but he needs to be deleted from this platform. The fact that you can still watch Tim Pool's videos when he has been proven to be a Russian agent is mind-boggling, that YouTube would want those to stay up. I have no idea why they would want to be associated with Russian propaganda when they've already been through 2016. We've already seen what's happened with Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, YouTube, Facebook. Russians spread propaganda throughout the 2016 election and campaigns, and they're still doing it. This also kind of reminds me of Tim Pool's favorite person, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is facing the consequences of his actions, facing the consequences of January 6th, interfering in the Georgia election, stealing documents and keeping them in his bathroom at Mar-a-Lago, and doing who knows what with those classified documents. He is running for the presidency because he needs to interfere in those elections. He is running for the presidency because he is trying to avoid the consequences of his action. The same thing that Tim Pool may be doing here if he is serious. Because again, his audience thinks that he's just joking. And he very well might be. Doesn't matter whether he's joking or not. It's not a good strategy.